acceleration. So is the United States in the front line of hydrogen car development? Hell no. It's again the foreign competitors, because that's where the industry is. That's where the R&D is. That's where the profitability is. Thanks to David Rockefeller and his outsourcing concept of the 1980s and 1990s to destroy the United States. Papa Bush, David Rockefeller, Obama, and J.P. Morgan, the four major destroyers of the United States.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we have to rebuild it. All right, so you're going to see the Japanese again take control of the automobile sector with the new technology. It'll be hydrogen cars. And there'll be a lot of silver in that system. And I don't fully understand it. It's not a battery system. It's a combustion system. There's no battery in a standard gasoline car. It's a combustion system. You're burning gasoline. They're going to burn hydrogen that they derive from nitrogen.
So it'll still be internal combustion.
It'll still be internal combustion. But there's a lot of silver in the engine.
Right. Cool.
I believe silver is somehow the catalyst. I don't have it all down. I haven't spent a lot of time. I spent an hour reading about it and go, wow, the Japanese again. And for those who are curious, why are the Japanese so good at industry? It's because they brought in a guy named Richard Deming in 1980. And he was a statistician with quality control. And Deming got rejected in various companies in the United States, in particular General Motors. Americans are not very good at industry. I'm telling you, my field of statistics, quality control, forecasting, marketing research, not very highly valued. And that's one reason I started the newsletter. I got laid off from a firm that could not get contracts to do marketing research adequately to keep me busy. And I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a guru. I have all kinds of different methods. I told my boss, well, I know how to do this, and this. Sorry, Jim, we don't have anything for you. They ended up laying me off. They hired two younger kids at half the salary each.
Right.
And they did less sophisticated projects that they had bunches of.
Yeah.
I tell you, I had one opportunity. It was with Arthur D. Little out of Lexington, Mass. Arthur D. Little. I had one opportunity. They weren't ready to give me a job, but I had a really nice, long interview with the guy. He said, Jim, you're qualified. I just don't think we got a good match here. I said, no, I'm not up for 60-hour weeks and no personal life.
Yeah. That's
not what I'm about.
Yeah.
I like sports. I like to have friends. I like to go to Boston Red Sox games. Sorry, and he said, well, we're looking for someone to do travel. And yeah, you're right. 50, 60-hour weeks at times. I said, well, okay, so let's not worry about this job and let's just talk. Do you mind? He said, no, that's okay. We ended up just talking shop. What do you guys do? What kind of methods you use? What kind of people do you hire? What schools you like? How do you interview? And I learned a lot. Then I went to Staples. My job in about, I think it was 4 months later, was in Staples, the headquarters of Staples in Framingham, Massachusetts, outside Boston. And I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed getting up. You know the feeling. You get up and, I got to drag my ass out of bed and go to work. No. I bounced out of bed and said, I'm going to work. I'm going to work.
Nice.
I took my yogurt, took my apple, banana, and I went to work. And they were all young Turks. They were all 25 to 35. And two or three of them, they were gorgeous. Wow. Especially Amy. And I don't think she's listening because I don't really care.
Yeah, probably.
But I wrote Amy poems. Back then, you didn't have to attach a phone number to your email. You could just open up an email. I opened up a Hotmail account. I opened up what was the other one? Hotmail and Yahoo account.
Mm-hmm.
A Yahoo and a Hotmail. And I used to write poems to women.
That's sweet, Jim. That's sweet. I don't know if you've sent one to me yet, but if you had, I wouldn't share it anyway.
No,
It's
I do other
personal.
things with you. I talk.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
By the way, Mark Robinson, is that the lieutenant governor of
yes,
North
yes,
Carolina?
yes. I knew
Okay.
it was a standard waspy kind of
Yeah,
name.
kind of Thompson Robinson.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
The guy is now being castigated in the press. He's the black Republican lieutenant governor in North Carolina. He's being castigated for some comments that he made, and they're trying to make him out to be some kind of a lunatic, racist, or whatever. And it's just a typical MSM smear campaign to take something that he did not say or
Yeah.
did not mean and make it seem like he's a nasty guy. They're trying to smear black Republicans, and it's
Yeah.
not going to work. It's blowing
No.
up in their faces.
Yeah,
Karen, it is blowing up in their faces.
and
And
same in Texas where the Latino vote is really moving also into the conservative realm because who supports them? Well, it's certainly not the what the Democrats have
not the
become,
border
not the
controllers.
border, and right, and all the people who worked so hard to get here and live here and raise a family here, and then all these other people just come in and get yeah,
The riffraff comes in without any vetting, without any
yeah,
jobs, and they're
yeah,
given lots of debit cards and cell phones.
yeah.
And the ones who worked their way into the country and got legitimate positions and
Ex
rooting into our society,
exactly.
they're angry. They're
Really
angry.
angry. Yeah, I have a friend who's a Ritrian truck driver who just he spent took him 7 years to get here and get this truck driving job out of Dallas and work his tail off. And it took so and he went through so much to
Eritrea.
yes, you know how they go down
That's an
through South
African country.
Sudan? Yeah,
South of
right.
Sudan. Okay.
They go down, well, they go down through South Sudan and they get over to South America, come up through South America, Central America, and come up in through Texas. And it takes a long time and a lot of work and it's dangerous. And, this is just one guy who, among many who did that and waited at the border and made it in and works his tail off. Anyway, um, so the racist card that they, like everyone's a racist now. It doesn't matter what you say or do, you're a racist.
Well,
It's
I, I, I notice things in professional sports. Um, I'm noticing something in NFL football and college football. Um, when I see a white wide receiver who makes a catch or a touchdown, I go, wow,
Mhm.
a white wide receiver of talent. How rare. But I am a fair sportsman, and I look at the black athletes and I say, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Game after game after game. We have 70% of the NFL starters that are black now. Am I a racist? No.
No,
I think
whatever.
they're
They're
phenomenal.
phenomenal. It
They're
doesn't matter. But they just do that to get us distracted and hung up on that and to try to sow
well, I
confusion
know,
and
but I notice.
conflict and, you know,
My point is that I notice. I notice that most of the white players are offensive linemen.
uh-huh.
They have a nickname. They call them the Big Uglies. They're 280 pounds, and
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't want your daughter going out with them. It's like a tremendous wave in the last 30 years in professional basketball and football. Blacks dominate. And, I would love to meet like a high ranking top 10 college coach and just ask him, do you bother with the white high schools? I made a black friend here in 2008. He was an American from Little Rock, Arkansas. I've lost touch with him, and he was a really good guy. And he paid me a compliment because one time we were at a sports bar. He said, "Hey, Jimmy, I want you to meet my friends." And there were three black guys. One was a Chicago cop. One was a Hollywood, I think a Hollywood uh, agent, music agent. And I don't remember what the other guy was. We talked and we had a good old time. We had dinner. And I let him stay at my house because he had nowhere to go. He had to get up early in the morning. And he said to me, Jim, I got to tell you something. You're about the most fair-minded white guy I've ever met. And I said, well, thanks. Does that mean that I don't notice that you're black? And he said, no, I didn't say that. I said, because I did notice you're black. Last night I noticed we were talking. It was about half an hour into the conversation, and I noticed you're black. And he's just laughing away. My website manager for the first 17 years was a black woman.
Yeah, whatever. What works? It's just whatever works.
I didn't have a single black friend until I was on the soccer team in my senior year of high school.
I'm just saying they really push that. They want us to be very upset and think that we're at each other's throats all the time because of the color of each other's skin.
Well, they want racial discord. They want
Exactly.
discord
So,
wherever.
yeah, I'm not buying it.
I say don't give them the discord. Let's just move
Yeah,
forward.
yeah,
But we need to get these guys out of office. We need to get them out of Washington. In
yes.
fact, I'm hearing that Washington is pretty much shut down. Um, it's a good question. Where is the U.S. government operating?
I don't know. Well, we know the fake thing in Georgia, the fake White House in
That's
Georgia.
not what I refer. I mean the real function. Well, here's some background information. There are
Okay.
about 20 different Social Security service centers in the country.
Hmm.
They're not in DC.
No.
Every time I talk to somebody like that, I say, where's your office? We're in Texas, outside Houston. Where's your office? We're just north of Los Angeles. Where's your office? We're outside Atlanta.
Hmm.
Okay, they're all over the country. But
Hmm.
where is the central headquarters of the U.S. government? I am hearing that it's in a place called Temple, Texas, and I can't seem to verify that.
Mm,
I'm also
Temple.
hearing Reno, Nevada
Hmm.
for Treasury Department functions.
Okay.
We're about to see a massive reduction in the U.S. government, and it's
I
going to
hope
cause a
so.
lot of problems. Well, yeah, except you got millions of people who are employed. What are they going to do?
I don't know, maybe something worthwhile.
Who's hiring? Okay, this is not going to be an easy transition. It's easy to cut jobs. It's not easy to create them. Unbelievable. And what I don't want to see is new jobs created that end up being bureaucratic and same old problem that we
Yeah,
started with. Okay,
yeah.
Trump has got his work cut out, and he makes it sound easy. He said just a few days ago, yeah, we're in Alabama now, and we just got back from Wisconsin where the migrants are causing a lot of trouble, and we're going to fix that. We got a solution. What's your solution, Trump? You got 20 million migrants, and maybe a tenth of them have families now. With a baby, you're not going to be able to get rid of them that easy. If there's a baby, you're not going to be able to deport. If they got a marriage and you got a job, I mean a real job, it's not going to be that easy to deport unless they got a criminal record here or where they came from. Oh my God, this is not going to be easy. Trump, you say you got a solution. This is not going to be easy. I'm telling you, I get very worked up about this because I'm tired of good people who are on our team who don't think well. They don't think well. How are you
And
going to deport them? On what grounds?
yeah, well, I think it's going to have to be on criminal grounds of criminal records. That's where it
Criminal record in the
starts.
past
Yeah.
that was not revealed during the vetting process. Okay, they're gone. What if that criminal record did not extend into Texas or Oklahoma or Georgia or California? They have no criminal activity in the United States, and they married a woman and they got a baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not going to be that easy. If there's a baby in the picture, it's not going to be that easy because the baby is an American citizen, U.S. born. Not that easy. I'm telling you, I think what they're going to end up doing is saying, you're part of a network that's taking orders from the United Nations. You got a cell phone, you're part of a sleeper cell, and that is your culpability. You're part of a sleeper cell. You are conspiring.
Well, I think that's what he's talking about. I think that's what Trump's talking about. But I also don't, I
Could be.
wouldn't say, I'm not saying the guy has the perfect plan. I don't know what's in store there, but I also think there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to, they're not going to come out and tell you what their plan is.
They should. One of the biggest problems with the White Alliance is they're not telling us what they're doing. They could give us vague terms of what they're doing. They,
So
they
how,
keep saying these are military operations. We can't give away our
yeah,
plans to the enemy. We can't subvert our own activity and put our guys at risk of being
exactly.
killed.
How much of
I
that,
understand that,
yeah,
but why don't they tell us what they did last year?
I would assume
I,
either for the same reasons,
I know.
right?
They say for the same reason it's a continuing operation. I know. But there are too many good people in the White Alliance camp who are giving up.